Creativity is an intrinsic part of the human experience, not just reserved for the traditionally artistic. It is a process of connecting to our environment, ourselves, and others, and it is a crucial part of well-being. In this podcast episode, we will explore how creativity can flourish in confined spaces and everyday settings, drawing inspiration from life's simple moments. The key points that will be covered today is creativity in small spaces, emphasising that creativity doesn't require vast resources, but can thrive in small, intimate settings with limited tools. Another is art imitating life. A film crew in a small village reflects how everyday life inspires art, illustrating that creativity is woven into daily experiences. Plus, personal connection to creativity. I share personal experiences of crafting and living creatively, underscoring the importance of creativity in personal fulfillment. Plus, there's the unique contributions, encouraging the recognition of valuing our unique creative gifts, whether in art, business, or any other field. And then living a life by design, advocating for a life designed around personal creativity and values rather than conforming to external expectations. Plus, encouraging creative exploration, suggesting experimentation with new creative pursuits to expand abilities and foster personal growth. And then there's community and support, inviting you to join in, fostering a creative community, and how in my next monthly newsletter I will share deeper insights into overcoming creative blocks. So keep listening if you wish to foster creative abundance and flow.
Do you desire to live a life that supports you in thriving? A life based on understanding your unique design and engaging more in your passions? I'm Marie-Nicole, and I am devoted to combining beauty, uniqueness, and connection in everyday living experiences. As a creative professional and Dharma coach, I help people connect to the truth of who they are and facilitate them in embodying their uniqueness. I am also a mother of two precious young men, and with children in tow, have established and run unique businesses, embraced opportunities that have contributed to my creative career, while creating magical memories and living my life by design too. It's my hope that this podcast inspires you to live your life on your terms and earn your income through being uniquely you. Whether that's working for yourself or someone else, the key here is living a life in alignment with your unique design. After all, it's our unique thread that we each contribute to the collective tapestry that creates the whole.
We are here to create. The process of creating is where the real magic is. The outcome is like the flower, the result of the conditions. I've been exploring ways to engage in creating with my hands without the need for a large workspace, confining myself to small spaces, small tools, and using what I have available to me to continue my handcrafting practice, because we are creative beings and we are here to create. Creativity is not just for the artistic types in the world. We are all creative in our own unique way, and we all contribute to creativity in ways we are not even aware of. After all, art imitates life. So by simply living our lives, doing what we do, the way that we do it, inspires others in their creativity too. This week we had a Netflix movie scene filmed in our village, a village that has a population of just over 200. The film crew was made up of 300 plus, so you can imagine that this was a pretty big deal for our little village. The central garage where we collect our mail from was overrun the morning of the filming with people, each with various roles in contributing to their piece to this bigger picture puzzle. Working from home, I decided to wander down the street and take in the sight. What is normally a quiet, run-down garage with the occasional resident vehicle pulling up to collect their mail was a hive of activity, with large-scale equipment, scaffolding, massive lights, ladders, and more. As I observed the activity, I could not help but think more deeply about the reality of art imitating life. For those involved in this production, it seemed like nothing else existed in their world in that moment. They were a part of creating something spectacular that the mainstream will absorb themselves in as a form of entertainment, escaping from their everyday living experience. And yet, the details of films like these are made up of elements of everyday life that we engage in on a daily basis without even thinking much of it. They did not have to build a garage and make it look run down. It already existed. And the vehicle that they had as a prop in front of the garage, with all of its adventurer gear attached to it, it is not dissimilar to what you will find parked in front of many of the houses here in the village. The theme of the movie being that of a survivalist thriller may not be something we desire to have as a part of our everyday living experience, but the details that created the setting for this scene was not much different to what we see here on any given day as a part of everyday life. As I walked down to the filming location, a bus driver for the crew drove past me, then stopped and reversed and asked if I was from the crew, as he was about to offer me a lift. He said I looked like I fitted into the scene, which is why he thought I was a part of the crew. He apologised profusely, but I was not offended, as I was thinking, this is art imitating life. And for me, the scene was not out of character. On his way back, he stopped again and chatted and said he really did think I looked like a part of the crew. Charlize Theron's character even. We both laughed heartily at that. Now, I can assure you, I was not dressed to try and fit into the scene of the movie. I was dressed according to my lifestyle. The day before, when I felt a need to reconnect with wild nature, I took a quick hike to one of my favourite local spots, a rugged part of the Yass River. With only 30 minutes available in my schedule, it was a fleeting visit to connect with the flow of wild water. Then it was back to my life commitments. I dress the way I do in order to account for all manner of activities that my days entail, which include engaging in creative play, creating content, holding space for other business owners, coaching clients, on top of the details that make up the activities outside of my work commitments. I live a life by design, creativity being a big part of that, and I too at times hit creative blocks and need to change my scene, try new things, move my body to get the creative juices flowing, and take inspiration from life happening around me. The inspiration for a creative project I recently completed, handcrafting these earrings, which those of you watching the video version will be able to see today that I am wearing. For those listening to the audio, I will describe aspects that may help paint the picture in your mind of what they look like. They're made up of copper wire, and the copper and the wire forms a hoop shape, with the details of like a vine winding around the lower part of the hoop. The organic shape of these details were inspired by a grapevine and the way it curls itself as it grows, often displaying little curly ends on the new vine growth. Now, in the centre of these hoops, I have a hanging component with 3 seed beads threaded onto the twisted fine copper wire. Now, the reason for me crafting these earrings was to connect with the ability to create with my hands while confining myself to small spaces, tools, and materials to work with. After years of having large workspaces to create with several workstations and benches to set up and work on various projects at once, I am preparing for when we sell our family home, which will be soon, and either I move into a small dwelling or spend time living on the road until I find a place to establish new roots. The process of deciding what is essential to keep out and accessible and what can be placed into storage is something I have been dedicating a lot of energy to, especially after realizing that I could not simply set aside handcrafting and become a digital nomad full time. Because for me, working with my hands is a part of who I am and it supports my well-being. The act of creating with my hands is a meditative practice, and it's very much something that fosters my creativity, both in the physical creation of items and in the digital production of content and offerings. The connection between head, hands, and heart are what contribute to my best work. We are not just here to do meaningless work to get by. We are here to create. and offer our unique contribution to the collective through being our unique selves. Not trying to fit into criteria written for us by others, but understand what makes us tick, what fosters our capacity to be creative in whatever form that takes shape. For some, it may be through writing, others painting, others chefing. Your creative genius may be working with numbers. It doesn't really matter. We're not all here to be the same. The film crew I spoke about earlier, made up of 300 plus people, all doing their bit to create just one piece of art, is a great example of how when we do our thing to the best of our ability, in our unique way, that is what we are here to do in this lifetime. We are here to create using our unique skills. So how do you go about fostering creativity when you feel stifled? Well, that's something I'm going to share in this month's newsletter. If you would like to discover 11 ways you can become so creative that you won't be able to stop creating, then sign up to receive my monthly newsletters for inspiration and insights into living a life by design. Your design, a design that supports your unique makeup, not in order to mold yourself into something you are not. Now, if that sounds like inspiration that could be really supportive to you right now, then you'll find a link to sign up to my monthly newsletter in the show notes. Living our lives in an inspired and fulfilling way is what we are here to experience. We need not be tormented by all the so-called shortcomings we have. The fact that I am not gifted in the same way as someone else operating in their unique genius does not make me less than them. It just makes me, me, and you, you. So let's band together and design a life that supports our thriving so we can inspire others to do so too. For the Soaring membership, I created a little clip sharing how to create content to share on a variety of platforms, tweaking the caption a little to connect with the audience on that platform, and LinkedIn was one of the platforms I encouraged members to revisit if they had disconnected from it. The reason I placed emphasis on LinkedIn is that we easily dismiss the value we bring to a platform like that because we see it as a place where professional business people hang out, not misfits like us. But we are not taking into consideration when we think this way that perhaps our presence, being our unique creative selves, would be of service to others hanging out in LinkedIn, providing a realistic representation of what professional actually means, with more variety in that representation. Just because I am a creative who loves to connect with wild nature and wears effortless flowing linen garments does not mean my work is of lesser quality or standard. If anything, the representation of operating in a way that balances both masculine and feminine energy is of value to the world of business. More and more we are hearing about entrepreneurs share how they are connecting to their creativity in support of their professional work. Connecting with our creativity does not mean we are not capable of making effective decisions. I would argue that exercising lateral thinking serves us better in making discerning decisions, as well as our ability to solve creatively and experiment with alternative solutions rather than stick to what has been done before, repeating that even if the results are not the outcomes we desire. Progressive thinking requires a willingness to try new things and explore options not yet attempted, testing, tweaking, trying again. That's the creative way of being. With that in mind, let's reframe our contribution to the world of business as having value. I encourage you to recognize what valuable contribution you make by being you, not being the same as everyone else. Let me take a moment to share what the Soaring membership is about and how it could be just what you need right now. This is about taking a holistic approach to business and life. For a small monthly fee of $33, you can join alongside others doing business to their own beat, also contributing their unique thread to the collective tapestry. This is a group gathering I facilitate every fortnight, working in a cyclical manner to grow and thrive in business and life, taking inspiration from nature, working with the energy of the moon cycle, which correlates with our personal cycle for those operating in a female human vehicle, taking the opportunity also to connect with other people and receive that ongoing support and encouragement, not feeling alone in our quest. In between gatherings, I also support you through videos and activities that will guide you through considering all aspects of business, not just looking at the dollars, but connecting you back to your bigger picture vision, understanding what truly supports you personally in thriving, and encouraging you to lean into things that you may be resisting to take action on because they are just on the edge of your growth and you feel a little uncomfortable doing them. Having support and encouragement makes such a big difference in actually realizing our dreams rather than feeling like we need to justify why the choices we are making are so important to us. There's no need to justify your why to anyone. In this community, we get it. We are all working on refining our unique offerings to contribute to the collective. It's not frivolous or selfish to harness your uniqueness and contribute from that place rather than try to mold yourself into roles that you just were not designed for. Because you know deep down inside at a soul level that it is the variety of shapes, sizes and colours that completes the puzzle that forms a bigger picture of the collective and that we are not all meant to be the same. So join us on this journey of becoming the outer expression of your inner essence and come and soar alongside of us. You'll find the link to join us in the show notes. Now go back to enjoying today's episode. So what will you try your hand at today that you have not yet attempted before, that will open your mind to the possibilities or could even expand your abilities? What creative pursuits will you take on purely for that reason, to expand yourself? Choosing to set yourself constraints, boundaries, timeframes, and limitations can be what opens you up to creative ideas you may not have had previously come across. By sticking to the known path, the safe route, the comfortable confines, that does not encourage growth. So providing yourself a little pressure to help propel you into a new level of creativity could serve you more than sticking to the known with open-ended timelines. And if you would like to receive my 11 recommendations on becoming so creative that you will not be able to stop creating, be sure to sign up for my newsletter, which will be out in the next few days. And if you are listening to this well after that time, still sign up to the mailing list and reach out to have this month's newsletter forwarded to you so you can still receive the valuable insights I wish to share with you. Because I believe the more of us tapped into our creativity, the better. So join the flock, live your life by design, be supported in creating conditions that foster your thriving too.
So thank you for listening all the way to the end of this episode. I hope that it provided you with insights and inspiration that you need right now on your quest of fostering thriving. Please do pass this episode on to someone you think would get value out of it too. And I'd really appreciate if you leave a review for this podcast on Apple or Spotify or a comment on YouTube. I'd love to hear any insights or inspirations this activated in you, and look forward to drumming, dancing, or soaring alongside of you.